This football is not good enough. The manager sat there for 94 minutes, yeah? I did not change the formation one time. Wallahi, you absolute incompetent manager, bro.
Something is seriously wrong at Manchester United, and it didn't start with the loss to Everton, but that defeat exposed everything. A month ago, fans were dreaming again. A calm win over Sunderland, a historic victory at Anfield, first win there in years. 4 goals past Brighton at Old Trafford, 3 consecutive wins. It felt like United were rising, like Rúben Amorim had finally figured it out. But then came the warning signs. A messy 2-2 draw at Nottingham Forest, saved by a spectacular Ahmad volley. A chaotic rescue mission at Spurs, Delict's header in the 96th minute salvaging a point. The performances were slipping, the late drama increasing, but the results were masking it. Unbeaten, still climbing, still hopeful. And then the collapse. Everton, Old Trafford, 10 men, a game United had to win and somehow lost. First home loss to Everton since December 2013, 12 years. First time in 47 Premier League games that a visiting team won at Old Trafford with 10 men. Fans are furious, absolutely embarrassing. Terminate this manager's contract immediately. We're 10th with a 0-goal difference at home against 10 men. This is one of the most cowardly United performances I've ever seen. Everyone is blaming the players. Others want the manager gone. But the truth is deeper than frustration, deeper than emotions, and far more worrying. Because hidden inside all these matches, the wins, the draws, and the collapse is one major tactical problem with Amorim's system that nobody is noticing. A flaw that turns good moments into chaos. A flaw that makes United look lost in and out of possession. A flaw that is now costing points, confidence, and the season. This is the problem with Amorim's tactics that nobody is noticing. Rúben Amorim didn't suddenly develop problems in November. The truth is, the issues people are screaming about today, rigidity, poor in-game decisions, the system collapsing under pressure, have followed him from day one. United just didn't want to see it. Look at the pattern. A few months ago, the club gambled the last trophy of the 2024-25 season, a European final that should have been managed with calm, but turned into another tactical miscalculation. Fans left that night in tears, knowing they were inches away from European football, only to lose the one thing that could have saved a disappointing season. Then came Grimsby this season, a match Manchester United had no business losing. Another early cup exit, another reminder that something was wrong long before the Everton disaster. And the criticism has always been the same. Amorim's system is rigid. He lives and dies by the 3-4-3, even when the game is begging him to adapt. Even with a man advantage, he keeps the back 5 locked in place, like a coach afraid to touch his own blueprint. The midfield always looks exhausted. 2 players asked to do the job of 4, covering endless spaces, outnumbered in every duel. When the first plan stops working, the substitutions rarely change anything, and every aerial battle feels like a weakness waiting to be punished. But the strange thing is, the system does have strengths. The third man concept, the triangles, the aggressive wing backs, the direct play that can create fast goals in seconds. On the right day, it looks fluid, modern, even exciting. And for a while, that's exactly what happened. October tricked everyone. A clean win over Sunderland, a historic victory at Anfield, 4 goals past Brighton. Suddenly the same system people doubted looked unstoppable. Fans started saying, maybe we were wrong about him, maybe this is finally clicking. But it wasn't clicking. United were winning on momentum, energy, confidence, not structure. The old cracks were still there. The midfield strain, the lack of flexibility, the fragile defensive shape. They were simply hidden by goals and good moments. And as soon as pressure returned, as soon as a team asked questions, as soon as the emotion of October faded, the same problem everyone ignored came back to life. Forest exposed it. Spurs exposed it. This wasn't a surprise collapse. It was the system revealing its true face. The problem with Amorim's tactics wasn't born in November. It's been growing, match after match, decision after decision, and now the whole world can see it. 7th place, 1 goal difference, 1 point off the top 4, 8 points above relegation, and somehow this felt like the game, the one that could flip Manchester United's season. Beat Everton at home after the international break, move into the top 5, ride momentum into a good run of fixtures. Everything was set up perfectly. Instead, United took the biggest step backwards imaginable. 13th minute, Idrissa Gueye is sent off for slapping his own teammate Michael Keane. It's stupid, it's bizarre, and suddenly Everton are are down to 10 men with 77 minutes left. 77 minutes at Old Trafford against 10 men with the chance to go 5th. The only question should have been how many United would score, but this is where Amorim's tactics completely fell apart. The game changed, and he didn't. He stayed locked into his 3-4-3, 3 center backs on the pitch for the full 90, even while Everton dropped into a deep, compact, low block, funneling United out wide and daring them to cross. There was no switch to a back 4, no extra midfielder between the lines, no real plan B, just the same structure against a totally different game state. United had the ball, the shots, the corners, all the numbers that usually point to dominance. 20 plus attempts, most of the possession, wave after wave of attacks. But having the ball means nothing if you don't know what to do with it, and United looked like a team without ideas. The double pivot is the first casualty. 2 midfielders, usually Casemiro and Bruno, are asked to do everything. Cover huge spaces, build up from deep, stop counters, connect with the forwards, break down a low block. Casemiro doesn't have the legs for that anymore. Bruno isn't a natural central midfielder. Together, they look exposed, rushed, and constantly outnumbered. They want chaos and fast transitions. Everton gave them a chess match, and they had no moves. Behind them, the back 3 become passengers. In a game like this, with 10 men and Everton pinned back, you don't need 3 center backs glued to the halfway line for 90 minutes. But Amorim keeps them there. Shaw, Yoro, De Ligt, all standing in a line, recycling the ball, while Everton sit in a compact shape and wait. The entire structure is still built like United are facing an open game, when in reality, they're facing the purest low block you can imagine. And in front, the attackers are stranded between bad rolls and bad instructions. Wingbacks stuck wide, spamming crosses into a box full of Everton defenders. Inside forwards dropping into crowded zones with no clear patterns to break lines. A striker who isn't match sharp, thrown into a game where the only service he gets is floated hopeful crosses against Keane and Tarkowski. This is why every player looks worse than they are. Mbeumo, who looked electric at Anfield, suddenly looks predictable. Ahmad, who rescued United at Forest, looks lost on the ball. The young signings, who were supposed to be the future, are dragged down to the same level as the old core everyone has already given up on. And this is the key problem with Amorim's tactics that nobody is really addressing in detail. It's not just the 3-4-3 itself, it's his refusal to bend it to the game state.
I'm not going to change. When I want to change my philosophy, I will change. If not, you have to change the man.
Up front, the lack of squad planning was brutally clear. With Šeško unavailable, Zirzi was thrown in cold, clearly short of rhythm, and there was no other striker option. United spent long spells slinging crosses into a box full of 6-foot Everton defenders with only one rusty target and a group of smaller attackers around him. It was exactly what Everton wanted: predictable, direct, easy to defend. Then came the punishment. Dewsbury Hall cuts inside, shoots from the edge of the box. Lamens should probably do better. And suddenly United are 1-0 down to 10-man Everton. From that point on, the pattern never really changed. Same shape, same double pivot, same crosses, same lack of invention. No brave tactical shift, no real structural change, just more of what hadn't worked for an hour. When the whistle went, it wasn't just a bad result, it was a clear message. This wasn't about one mistake or one off day. It was about a system that doesn't bend when the game demands it, a structure that overloads the wrong players, and a manager who keeps trusting a shape that keeps letting him down.
What's your overall feeling after that result?
Frustration, disappointment about the way we play the game. I think they were the better team with 11.
And that is the problem with Amorim's tactics that nobody is really noticing. If you listen to Manchester United fans after the Everton game, you keep hearing the same words: cowardly, embarrassing, spineless. People say the players didn't turn up, that the mentality is weak, that this group bottles it whenever it really matters. And on the surface, they're right. You can't play at home against 10 men with the chance to go 5th and look like that. You can't make Everton with 10 men look calmer, smarter, and more dangerous than Manchester United in front of their own crowd. So yes, the effort wasn't good enough. Yes, some of these players have let down multiple managers, but when your system asks tired legs to cover impossible spaces, puts creative players in the wrong zones, and keeps 3 center backs on the pitch against 10 men at home, you are building a performance that will always look cowardly and clueless from the outside. The fans see the symptoms, the lack of intensity, the wrong passes, the panic crosses, the same faces making the same mistakes. But underneath all of that, there is a tactical structure that is dragging everyone down. And the scary part is this: October wins covered it up. Everton just ripped the mask off. For all the criticism Rúben Amorim has faced in recent weeks, the truth is that his 3-4-3 system is not broken. The principles behind it are modern, effective, and perfectly suited to the Premier League when executed correctly. You can see it in flashes, how the team rotates in the half spaces, how the third man combinations create angles, how the front three link beautifully when the rhythm is right. Even the back three, often unfairly blamed, deserve credit. Yoro steps forward aggressively, De Ligt leads the line with authority, and Shaw's ability to drift into midfield gives United another route to progress the ball. The issue isn't the philosophy, it's the areas of the structure that still don't fit the philosophy. The first adjustment Amorim must embrace is giving the back three more purposeful support. They already advance into the midfield line. They already step into zones that modern center backs should occupy. But when the midfield is outnumbered or unable to receive under pressure, those advances become isolated. United need a clearer connection between the advancing center back and the pivot so that those progressive steps actually lead somewhere instead of becoming dead ends. And that leads to the second and biggest problem, the midfield. Not because the players aren't talented, Bruno is elite in the final third, Casemiro's experience is invaluable, but because the role they are being asked to play doesn't suit their natural strengths. A flat double pivot gets stretched, overrun, and exposed, especially against low blocks or teams pressing in waves. United often try to build attacks without a true press-resistant midfielder, someone who can receive on the half turn, escape pressure, and dictate tempo in tight spaces. That profile simply does not exist in the current squad, and every game exposes it. The third adjustment concerns the wingbacks, especially on the right. While the back three are progressing the ball well, they need outlets that can drive attacks further. On the left, Amad Diallo has produced moments of pure magic when deployed as an inverted wingback, cutting inside, beating defenders, creating chances in ways very few players in the squad can replicate. But on the right flank, the output is much lower. Dorgu works hard, defends well, and offers width, but United get almost no goal contributions from that side. And when one half of your 3-4-3 lacks final third threat, the entire attack becomes unbalanced. This isn't a criticism of Dorgu, it's a recognition that the role demands a very specific skill set, relentless overlapping, crossing quality, underlapping runs, pace, and final third creativity, and United need another player who naturally fits that profile. Amorim also needs to adjust the behavior of the wingbacks during deep block matches. When both wingbacks stay wide at the same time, the team becomes predictable. One needs to tuck into midfield to help circulate the ball, to relieve pressure on the pivot, to form triangles, the foundation of Amorim's best football. And then there's the pressing structure. Too often, the front three initiate the press aggressively while the midfield remains anchored. That disconnect creates pockets that opponents exploit easily. The press only works when the front three, the midfield two, and the nearest center back all step forward together. A coordinated wave. When it breaks, the shape breaks. Finally, the team must learn to distinguish when to play direct and when to build patiently. Direct play works when Sesko is fit and the opponent pushes high, but against deep defenses, long balls only hand possession back. United need clearer decision making in these moments. And with the January 2026 window approaching, these tactical adjustments must be paired with smart recruitment, especially in midfield and at wingback, if Manchester United want the system to finally breathe. Because the ideas are good, the identity is good, but without the right profiles, the system can only go so far. United don't need a new philosophy, they need better fitting pieces for the philosophy they already have. Manchester United don't need to tear everything down. They don't need a new identity. What they need is simple, the right profiles to make this system work. A midfielder who can take the ball under pressure, wingbacks who can create on both sides, and a manager willing to adjust when the game demands it. January 2026 is the moment. Either United strengthen the positions that make this system functional, or they continue repeating the same patterns we've seen for months. So now the question shifts from tactics to action. What will the club do next? Because the ideas are clear, the solutions are obvious, and the future depends on whether Manchester United finally make the changes this team has been crying out for. If you enjoyed this analysis, subscribe, drop a comment, and let us know what's the first fix United must make in January.